Well, welcome everybody to the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. Oh, there is Tim. Good, you made it in. So we've had some technical difficulties, and we decided we would start all over again this morning. So this is amplifies our belief that we do need a wingman to do all these things. And unfortunately, Bill had another commitment this morning and was not able to be here to manage the intro part. And so last time I goofed. So then we had to go out and start all over again and so forth. So I'm happy that we all made it back here. Thank you for your patience, folks. So how would you like to introduce yourself this morning? And let's see, Vivek, how about you? Would you like to begin this morning?
Namaste. My name is Vivek. VivekTechnology.com is my website. I am from the UK, but presently having a long holiday in India and looking forward to going back, really. So.
Oh, so do you have a return date yet, Vivek?
Not yet, but we are planning.
Right on. Well, I think it will be easier for all of us to stay connected to you when you're in the UK, just because of time differences. So
more than the time, I think here I think the bandwidth, the bandwidth is very patchy. Sometimes it is really bad. Sometimes in between, so.
Yeah, all I got was bandwidth patchy.
Well, it must be frustrating for you, Vivek, because you've always been quite active on the net, so in this process, so. So we'll be happy to have you back in the UK. So next is Tim. I'm just going through the list of in the green room. So how would you like to introduce yourself? We're not hearing you. So I'll just go on to the next person. Roland, how would you like to step in?
Hi, Roland from MinMax Media, where we focus on the minimum you need for the maximum impact. We sponsor the Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties Show and DIY Live Streaming Show.com. Glad to be here.
Right on, and thank you for the musical aspect of my intro. So, just for anybody who's out there watching or listening, or it takes three of us to do this. Bill usually does the visual part, and Roland does the audio part. So yeah, I'm going to be playing with something new to see whether there's a more smooth way to make that happen. But right now, it's like all the pieces. You need to be able to manage all the pieces. So,
just to interject, it's actually, we've been testing it out. Bill can handle it all himself. So it's the type of thing that we are trying to organize into being a single wingman assistant to be able to help you run the show and take all the technical stuff off of you, and that'll help you out tremendously.
Yeah. So Bill and I have already been playing with XSplit, see whether we can figure out how to do that. So there's always something new to learn, isn't there?
The more software you load, the slower the computer gets.
Yes, that's true. So, Tim, do you want to give it a shot this time?
Okay, does the mic work this time?
Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Tim Longwell with Longwell Art. We're helping people gain contentment through creativity and helping them learn also to turn their dreams, ideas, memories, and photos into works of art. And we're starting a new show. We've got the introduction video scripted. I'm waiting for my cameraman to show up to do the taping on that. So that should go up here, sometime this week, I hope.
Right on. A work in progress.
Always.
Well, I'm glad you came in. So, Jay, how about you? What are you up to these days?
Oh, nothing much.
No, not much.
Nothing much. Here and there. Hi, my name is Jay, and my company is Magi Studios, and we help people get started in the world of online marketing through coach, consulting, and training. Just getting started in this internet marketing world. Been doing it only for 10 years.
You're right. Only 10 years. Holy smokes.
Back to you, Lowland.
Right on. Welcome here as always, Jay. So, Fred.
Hello, just checking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm Fred Jones, creator of Our Future Leaders. It's a cutting-edge online group coaching program for youth. You know, improves their communication, leadership skills, helps boost their self-confidence, and assist them as they enter adulthood. I've been coaching children for just on 12 years, and now I want to do it online. Victoria, BC, as a few other people are in Canada.
Yes. Right on. Welcome here. I think your project sounds really exciting. So, Alana.
Hello, testing.
Yes.
Hello. Alana here from Ireland, and my site is emptynesterblog.com. And my focus is to help empty nesters get back into the workforce by creating their own online income. So I'm happy to be here.
Right on. Welcome here. So, well, we finally got to our topic this morning after a long, what a comedy of errors this whole thing has been this morning. Anyway, I just have to keep our sense of humor when the technical things go astray. So this morning we were going to talk about editing YouTube. And Fred, I thank you for your questions, but how would you like to sort of pose them or give us the background that you provided for me earlier this week?
All right, thanks, Sloan. What I notice, I'm hearing feedback. Somebody's mic is probably picking me up. I don't know. The challenge I'm having is as I record in YouTube, using Google Hangouts. The challenge is that sometimes, as we just had today, we don't have somebody who maybe put in the title, or I've got portions where the children have been, it's boring, and I want to remove that. So the challenge is, what I was hoping to do, and it doesn't seem to exist, is just go somewhere online, edit the actual video without having to download it and then upload it again. But it appears that's the process I'm going to have to use at the moment. The reason is I'm trying to make this easy for everyone. I'm not the only person who's going to do this coaching online. I'm going to hopefully have a dozen or hundreds of coaches ultimately. And if they're going to have to learn all of this, it's going to be a bigger challenge than I hoped. I want to make it as easy as possible. What you're doing, I find very, might be appropriate. In other words, you're not editing, you're putting the music in, you're putting the titles in, and you're recording everything and you upload that. That would probably be ideal, but there are times when you want to change and edit. I have to download it, which is possible. I have editing software, which I can edit, and then upload it, and it's a different URL then. Now, that's not an issue, but when I have tens or hundreds of coaches, they're all going to have to learn that, and I try and avoid it. So the easier, the better is what I'm looking for. How can I do it without having to make it too complicated? So that is what I'm looking for. Any suggestions how to make it as easy as possible without having to use a variety of software tools to edit. Lolan, you're muted. Can't hear you.
When I was thinking about your issue and the fact that you kind of want to be able to sort of edit and then post back again, my thinking was the best way would be, from where I sit, is to have a website and have a landing page that has the same, that where you use the same link all the time, where people can go to that one landing page where that way you can upload or whatever. I don't know whether that's within your own vision of where you want to go, whether that would work for you or not. But that would be one way to get around it. I'm wondering whether, Tim, do you have a suggestion?
Well, what he's looking at is, it's actually not in place on YouTube yet, although I do have the good news, they are working on it, an online editor, so that you can edit your YouTube videos from YouTube. But right now, the way it's set up is you record like we're doing now. And then if you want to make changes to it, other than adding a few things at the beginning and end, which are just a matter of adding graphics, basically, then you have to pull the video off of YouTube, edit it, and then upload it, which changes the video URL and everything else. Yeah. And so your idea works fine post-editing. But what Fred was hoping for is, it sounds like he wants them to be able to do it all from within YouTube as an example, to where they just go in after the show, they make the changes, cut out the dead air space or whatever the case may be that needs to be, so that it shortens the production video, and then they save those changes, and he doesn't have to worry about everybody that's helping him coach learning how to video edit. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, right now, I don't know of any. You have my curiosity piqued. I am going to go dig around right now, but I suspect that it's, even if I find something that can be used online to where everybody doesn't have to buy a software or whatever, I think you're still stuck with that, having to download the video for now and then uploading it until things do change at Google.
May I chime in here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first thing is, I mean, if everything had the path of least resistance, we would be living in a very boring world. So, but the good thing with YouTube at this moment, which is somewhat the path of least resistance in terms of what Fred is looking for, YouTube has the ability to create what's called pre-made settings for like any videos that you upload or get uploaded to your channel automatically or whatnot. You could set up almost like a template of pre-made settings. So like title, description, custom thumbnail, a little watermark on the lower right-hand side and whatnot. So, and that's available now to, I think, pretty much anyone that has a YouTube channel. So, that could be a starting point in terms of getting, consistency in terms like of a first frame and having your logo on there and your titles within the website or the video title and whatnot. But beyond that, yeah, I think at this point you're restricted to downloading the videos if you really want to edit them. But I mean, we tend to be our worst critics, and I really do think that you need to consider the time that's going to be invested in doing these live hangouts, downloading them, editing them, uploading them, telling your audience the new YouTube URL. And if you think about all of that process just for what? Adding a few graphics, in my opinion, for live hangout events, I don't think it's worth it. I think you should just stick with the pre-made settings that are currently available. If you're recording videos, meaning like not live hangouts, then absolutely, I think production value is ideal there in that situation, just because there's several steps that you don't need to do when it comes to recording offline. So I think that's totally fine. But I think with live videos, people who are viewing them, even post live, understand that that they're live events. So they don't expect high production value, right? I do webinars every Friday, these live training events, and they last about anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes long. And I never edit them. I never do any kind of post production. And I've only heard in the 5-6 years that I've been doing it, I've only heard just a very small handful of suggestions to oh, can you cut out the live Q&A session or whatever, right? And it's just, to me, it's not worth it. Just fast forward it. So I mean, that's my 2 cents. But right now they have the pre-made settings so that you can get yourself running with that. Beyond that, then of course, yeah, then it's offline editing. And if in Lowland, if you want, I actually have my video editing software queued up if you want to see a quick tutorial on how to do that in a Mac environment. So.
Yeah, I have the page where you would make those edits that Fred can even access as soon as we go off the air, as far as where to find those default settings that Jay was talking about. And
right.
Then I can also pull that in as a screen share as well.
Go ahead, guys. Let's put it as part of the recording here, so that because I know that there are others who have said, I really want to see this. 2 or 3 people who were unable to be here in this time frame. So yeah. So Tim, why don't you share that screen of the YouTube, and then following that, maybe we could look at what Jay has.
All righty, we'll go ahead and we'll do that here. Let's see. Why isn't it showing it? Interesting. Okay, there we go. So it wants to share it here. All right, so we'll share that. Then we'll jump over here to that, and we'll make that go away. Now, what we have here is you're inside what's called YouTube's Creator Studio. And how you'll get to that is you'll click on your little icon up over here on the top right corner, and you'll have a button that says Creator Studio, and you click that and it'll bring you right here to what's known as your dashboard, which will give you this view right here. Then you come down to your channel and you go to Upload Defaults. And now in here you can set certain things that will show up every time you create a video or upload a video to YouTube, whether it's made through Google Hangouts or YouTube Live, or you upload it from something you pre-recorded and then added. And what you can do here is, like for instance, you can set the default privacy setting, the category it would fall into, what type of licensing you're going to use. Here's where you would do the titling that Jay was talking about. Everybody, come on. And you enter a description here. Now, some of the things I've added in here on my description is a link to my YouTube channel, the video equipment I use and the mics I use, and what I've done with editing and how I do it, and some hashtags that I want to show up every time. The other thing you can do is in here, there are maybe certain tags, hashtags, meta tags that you want used every time, so that if someone does a search for youth leadership group, so every time they search that, you want you to show up in the search. This is where you would put that, is in this box here, along with other relevant tags. Then you can determine what comments are allowed, whether or not the users can see the ratings on the video, which is the thumbs up, thumbs down that you see when you're on YouTube. This checkbox here allows the videos viewers to contribute to titles, descriptions, etc. And then now here's something that is important, because in the US we have something called closed captioning as part of the required media format for broadcast. And so you need to tell it whether or not you have the closed captioning, whether or not maybe your content is exempt by FCC, or it doesn't fall in line with what the article says FCC captioning. And as you can see, there are a lot of options here.
Quick question on that. What would make video exempt from that? If it's just like personal related? Like something like this, nonprofit organizations. Right, not commercial based. Right, non-commercial use, non-branding use, things like that. There are, that article that they list right here under category of that currently requires, it does not require that's the best place to do, is go to FCC and do a search and look up that article and see if you have to worry about it or not. Now, there are some advantages to closed captioning as far as translations, and you can always add closed captioning later. You can either write it up yourself, and there's some software that you can get that'll help you put it together so that it meets that, or you can hire it out to be done depending on your finances or everything. But most of the stuff you're going to create over Hangouts has never aired on television, nor likely to air on television, broadcast television anyway. So you can just safely click that this content has never aired on television in the US. Then you have an option here to whether or not to show editing suggestions, and that's a report that YouTube sends to you. Then if you're on the location or whatever, you want to put something like that and you want it available for search, you'd put that in this box. Most of the time you're going to leave that blank, and then you can determine whether or not people can see your statistics on the page, with your subscriber numbers to your channel,
how many views the video had and things like that. And then you would just go up here and you would save it, and you can name it different things when you go up here. Because if you go new before you do all of this, then you can create a template, more or less, for a certain style. Say you do how to and style on one, on the other you do education. And you can set them up that way, to where you can actually even have 2 separate default uploads depending on how you categorize the uploaded video.
Can I ask a question here?
Sure.
So is this sort of like setting up a profile for different types of video that someone wants to put up on their channel?
This is, let's see here.
So, because you were saying that you could save that, so I'm wondering if, and call it something and name it. So I'm wondering if it's like a profile of certain types of video.
I think Tim's using TubeBuddy, so I think that save profile part was part of TubeBuddy.
That may be.
Okay.
That may be.
Okay, that's what.
Because you can only save 1 upload defaults per YouTube channel.
Okay. Okay, now I get it. Thank you.
Could I chime in here to add on to the point that Alana is asking about? You want to categorize your videos strongly because of the channel. So the presets and the settings that they're talking about may apply to all your videos or a certain set of your videos, and that'll help you establish your channel relevance and the searchability and so forth. So that way, if they search for one video in particular, maybe some likewise videos from your channel will show up and actually get you more exposure. So it's a good idea to lock in the settings and record them, set them aside and know what they are going to be, and be consistent with your settings with all videos for a specific channel.
Right, and those are in place by YouTube it's one of their steps toward non-repetitive actions, because Google, of all people, understands your time is limited and you need to get this stuff done. You need to get it out and get on to the next whatever you're doing. And as they get more tools available, they're adding it to YouTube, like this upload defaults, which is at one time you had to type all that stuff in every time you uploaded a video. And now you've got a kind of a template for your uploads that once you upload your video or you save it after a hangout, then you can just go in and edit it real quick.
Tim, you should join the Amazon affiliate program and put little Amazon affiliate links within your My Video Equipment default thing there.
Yeah, you know what? I need to check because I think
it wasn't. Yeah, there was nothing there. It just had a list of your equipment, which is great, but then also put the Amazon affiliate links there. Make a little commish.
Yeah, well, one of them is almost, well, it's retired as far as because they're always selling something new. But yeah, some of the other stuff is still available. That's true.
Yeah. Well, the good thing with Amazon affiliate is that the what's called the cookie, which goes in someone's browser, lasts for 48 hours. So if someone doesn't necessarily buy that one item, they can go and shop around, and then if they end up making a purchase on Amazon, then you would get the commission for whatever they end up purchasing. So, yeah.
I'm not sure YouTube allows you to, does it?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. In fact, you can also, one of the things that YouTube offers as well is you can use Patreon as an example for donations. If you're using GoFundMe as a fundraiser while you're live, they allow that because the GoFundMe funds usually go direct to a source. So it goes direct to the fundraiser. Say you're running the fundraiser, but it goes to the MS Society. Well, the GoFundMe money wouldn't come to you because you're raising it for MS Society. It would go straight to the MS's account. So you wouldn't even have to deal with the bookkeeping or anything like that. That would all be handled through the bookkeeping mechanics with GoFundMe and the MS Society, as an example. And if you have, when you're live like this on the YouTube, once you have 10,000 views of your channel, now, and this is important to make the distinction here between 10,000 subscribers and 10,000 channel views. The channel views and subscribers are granted across all of your videos ever being watched, but you could have less than 100 subscribers, but you have over 10,000 views of your videos because of your video library, at which point when you go live like this in the YouTube chat over there, and Bill would know what the area I'm talking about, and Jay I'm sure does. At that point, once you get over 10,000 videos, there's a little $sign down by where they comment. And they can actually donate to your channel through that.
Yeah.
As well. Whether, you know, and at that point, it's a case of, again, what are you broadcasting for? Is it a, hey, here's a little to help make the next video? If you're doing it for a charity event, then that funds, I haven't looked into yet as far as how you could redirect that, or whether you would have to physically cut the check yourself to the charity or whatever, because, well, I don't have 10,000 views. I haven't worked that hard on it in a couple of years, and so my view count's kind of low. But these are things that YouTube is putting in place to help video creators put these things together.
So I would just like to break in here. We have Heather Crafter out in the out viewing, and she posted the following. You can use video editor tools to put together clips to create new videos and publish them to YouTube with one click. All of your uploads are added automatically to the video editor. Some of the things you can do with video editor are combine multiple videos and images you've uploaded to create a new video, trim your clips to custom lengths, add music to your video from a library of approved tracks, customize clips with special tools and effects. The video editor tool at youtube.com/editor isn't currently able to publish videos that are longer than 1 hour. You can use the enhancements or audio tools to process longer videos. So thank you for that, Heather. We're happy that you're out there. And I noticed that, thank you, Roland. He's posted, we know that Andrew Hatchett is out there. He says, I love TubeBuddy. The free version allows for 2 templates. So there are a variety of things that we can do. Yeah.
Right.
So,
I knew they were working on that video editor, and it's good to see that it has actually gone live, even if it is still limited. So that may be one solution for you now that is already active, since what you're looking to do, Fred, is to clip out some dead spots and shorten those videos up.
right. Right on. So Jay, you want to show us what you were suggesting?
Sure. Okay, so make sure everyone can see the screen. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so this is my video editing software. It's called ScreenFlow. This is only for, I'm pretty sure ScreenFlow is only for Macs, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a really simple video editing tool. It can mean, it's actually used to also record videos or record screencasts. And what a screencast is, it's a terminology that's used if you wanted to record what your desktop looks like. And And you can also do videos as well, and lots of, you know, the one thing that I really like about ScreenFlow is its simplicity. It's a really simple tool. It gets the job done. It does it fast, easy, and very professional. So what I've done, what I did this morning during our little intermission between take 1 and take 2 is I recorded 2 quick little videos. And as you can see, you have what's called a media library where you can add things here, right? So, you know, and that's right there. You can see right there, there's the 2 videos. And then, so this main area here, which you currently see is black, that's like your movie screen. That's what you're gonna be, that's your editing area. And then down here is your film strip, if you will, where you can do your splicing and whatnot. And it has several different channels. So if I scroll it up, you can add more channels as you go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this one in, and I'm gonna right click and I go add timeline to scrubber. So there we go, there's our first video, and it's only 15 seconds long. And now let's say I have more than one video. So I've got video number 2. So I can do a couple things here. I can put this on a new channel, like down here if I wanted, or I can put it on the same channel and then overlay it. And one of the cool things about that is, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Add timeline to scrubber, so there we go. So now the cool thing is that if I start to drag this, and if I pull it over top, you see what, there's this little thing here that happens. So let's just see what happens just by default. Okay, so as you, if you saw that, you saw that there's like a little transition. So what it's done for me automatically is it's created a little fade transition. So we could see there. Okay, now we have the ability to change that. As you can see, we've got, you know, different kind of things here. So we can go like clock wipe. So that's pretty cool. And then, so let's say we wanted to maybe add a little logo in the bottom, right? Now, even before I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this and resize this just to give it a little bit bigger. There we go, now it's gonna fit. So now what I wanna do is I wanna add this logo maybe on the bottom right. So I'm gonna add that. Let's say we'll put it right here. Now, we'll go like that. Now we can see it's really big, and also we can't see it. Now the reason why we can't see it is because it's actually behind the video. So what we want to do is we want to actually, the way this thing works, it's like a layer. So this is the top layer. Mm-hmm. So what we want to do is we're going to have to move these down. Move it up. So now we see it, but now it's massive. we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to resize this. We're going to make the logo smaller. So I can just go ahead, and you see by default it constrains the proportions. And we're going to drag it over, zoom back in here a little bit. And there we go. So now our little logo is going to remain there, as you can see, but it's going to go away in a second. But we don't want that. So what you have to do is you have to stretch this out to the length of the video. So I just go to the end, and then I can go like this. It's telling me the duration, and then it'll snap to the grid there. Up there, like that. Good stuff. Now we can do like transitions with this as well. We can have it fade in, fade out, all that kind of stuff. The last thing I'm going to show you is the ability to replace the audio. This is actually something that I think is really powerful. Sometimes, you know, your audio isn't the best So you end up recording something. This is especially true if you're doing actual screencast videos and not videos of you, where you can actually create new audio. So you have the ability, so if I go like this and I right click over this, there's a thing that says detach audio. So if I click on that, what it's done is it's actually taken out the audio from the video and put it in a new channel. And I would do the same thing with this one. Now from there, I can actually then either edit the audio independently here, or I can replace the audio, right? So I can actually just record new audio. And like I said, this would be more prevalent if you're doing a video where you are not in the camera, but it's actually your desktop in the camera, which would make more sense. Because what might end up happening is your mouth might not sync to the new audio. So I really recommend that you do that only in a situation where, if you're gonna replace the audio, do it in a situation where people don't see your mouth moving, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, independently, so what I can do is I can go to the audio editor right here, and I can actually boost the audio here. So let's go to 150. It's a good, here, we'll do it 160. And you might have seen here that the sound wave got a little bit bigger. If we, yeah, so it's a little bit louder now, so that's great. Now, let's say there was a particular burp or something inside the video where there was an actual problem, right? So let's say, you know, right here. And again, if this, you know, if it's not your mouth moving, you can then click on this, which then you see it creates a new detached audio file. So editor, I mean, I can go on and on, but so let's say our video is all edited and we're good to go. And then we go, oh, and you can import other things like music and graphics, different videos, you know, and so on and so forth. So it's right here, it says add media. Whereas you go to it'll go to your desktop or your computer, you can find other audio pieces or video pieces and whatnot to add that. So once it's all ready to go, I go File and then Export. And it says, well, all right, well, here's your export settings. So your preset is the web high. I just leave it as is. And then it's dimensions, scale it. So I'm going to keep it to the 100%. And then I would export it, and then it would then start to render a final product. Okay. Now, one last feature is if you don't want to go through the process of exporting it to your computer and then uploading it to YouTube, well, ScreenFlow has a setting where you can actually publish to YouTube directly. You just have to kind of create the permissions to sync that up. Beyond that, then it's, you know, you can then upload it directly to your YouTube channel. So this would be ideal where to make sure that you have your upload defaults in place so that you can directly upload new videos to your YouTube channel. Wow. There you go. So as you can see, it's very very powerful software. That's, again, at this point, I think it's only for a Mac. But there's a PC piece of software called Camtasia,
yes,
which does, you know, a lot of the very similar
right.
layout.
So thank you for that demo. I mean, it looks as though it's not all that complicated to do, right? So I see that Roland is monitoring the VCP, so he's got something there to share. So this is from Andrew. Be very careful about categorizing your video, as YouTube is being much more strict about videos being categorized correctly and are suspending channels if someone continually miscategorizes their videos. Wow, I didn't know that. So thank you, Andrew. And here's another one from Heather. I use my Amazon Associates with my YouTube description, but not in my cards and end screens in answer to Vivek. So, oh, and here's another one. There's Vivek has said, major deciding factor whether to use YouTube's own editing facility or download and use your own editor on your computer is computing power available to you versus network bandwidth available to you. Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Vivek. And that's why they're developing the tools further. And because originally that editor that Heather mentioned, which is you actually go down in you go to create, and now there's an option called video editor right down here. You see the red bar, and you can drag your video that you have made in there, and you can drag in that separate audio file if you need to. Is that more and more videos are being done on cell phones and tablets, mobile. Mm-hmm. And so what's happening is they're, I forgot to screen share that a while ago, but they're making it easier so that you can do these editings on the fly and accommodate areas like where Vivek is now, where computing power may not be an easy option, and bandwidth is, they're working so that they can balance that out, so that even using a cell phone in a sketchy service area can still be safely done without ruining your whole content. And as far as Jay's information about the ScreenFlow, yes, there is now a Windows version of it. It is $99, and you only go up from there. iMovie for Mac and Windows Movie Maker, there is a Windows 10 Movie Maker, so it's back in Windows 10. You just have to go to Windows and look for it. And so, you know, these are all beginner editors. The iMovie and the Windows Movie Maker, Media Maker, Movie Maker, I don't remember exactly what it's called. But so, you know, you don't have to put a lot of investment right away to get an editor. If it's
I think Bill mentioned not long ago that he uses the Windows Movie Maker.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't found it yet.
Go ahead, Roland.
Windows Movie Maker is no longer supported by Microsoft. So you're not going to find a download opportunity from Microsoft. You can find a download opportunity from other resources, but I would be very, very careful, because they'll usually tag you with some various issues that may not be appropriate for your computer and could be damaging. So I would be very careful about any downloads on Windows Movie Maker now. And
automatically make Yahoo your default browser? Is that one of them?
Yeah, exactly. So Fred has a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have to leave in the next few minutes. Can you hear me?
Well, yes, we can hear you.
I just want to thank everyone. Jay, I really associate, especially what you said about a lot of them don't need editing. There are times I think we would, but I agree with you totally about that, because we are our worst critics often. That's not the purpose, but I do agree. Once we get the protocol working, I think we won't have to edit very much. Maybe for marketing, we might want to edit some of just the best tips or top. That might be irrelevant. And I really appreciate all the comments. It's very helpful. I know Tim has spent time with me. Roland, all of you have. And I appreciate it. I do have to leave in the next few minutes. But what's great is you can continue, and I can watch the video of all this comment. So I want to thank everyone before I disappear. So I just want to explain, I'm going to disappear, but thanks so much. It's really been very, very helpful. I've learned a lot.
I just wanted to throw out a little bit about a software that I'm using. It's called Audacity. Now, I haven't used it a lot, but it's basically for screen capture. So if you're recording something on your desktop and you can talk over perhaps like a training video you might be creating. It's there's a free version that has the Screencastomatic logo that appears on the screen, and then you can buy the actual license for $15 a year, and that's what I did, because then I get rid of the logo and I can put in my own if I want. So that's another one, and I haven't played around with it all that much recently because I've had some storage issues on my own laptop. I'm using my daughter's right now, but yeah, if at some point later I can master Audacity, maybe I could give you guys a test drive on it.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, Audacity is one of the ones I use as well for recording separate soundtracks and things like where Jay was showing. Real quick screen share to show everybody here. Let's see if I can. All right, it wants to use this window. I'm going to do that. We're going to jump over here. And this is inside. It offers to open up. You get the app. This is Microsoft. They brought it back for Windows 10. And you can get an app for Windows 10. And you tell it to open the store, and it pops open the store just like the Chrome extensions does. And since it's already installed on mine, but it's available on PC, mobile, and Hub. I don't know exactly what they're referencing on the Hub, but it's back.
Drop the URL in the event comment stream, please.
Sure, I can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Can I jump in here real quick? I misspoke a little bit. Audacity and Screencast-O-Matic are actually two different pieces of software. So Audacity is more for podcasts, and Screencast-O-Matic is more for recording your desktop. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
And there are free versions of both.
Podcast. Okay. Right on. So it looks as though from where I sit, there is going to be a learning curve. There's no question. Trying to learn how to use all of these products, but certainly it is worth learning, I think, for sure.
And you know, the ones I have used Screencast-O-Matic, and I've played around a little bit with Audacity, and I haven't used the one that Jay has. I didn't know there was a Windows version for that. But you know, that one actually, to be honest, looks like the easiest one to use. It just seems a lot more user-friendly to me, just based on the demo that Jay did. So I might check out the free version, or not the free version, but the Windows version of that, because that may actually be the way to go.
It is seriously one of the best investments that I've ever made.
I'm sorry, Jay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there. I thought you were
No, you're grand.
Yeah, so it's been one of the best investments I've ever made in terms of software to save time, right, to do that kind of stuff. Because, you know, editing video can be, I think, 90% learning, 10% doing. It's like, oh, where's that damn button to do that one tiny little thing, you know?
Yeah, it's a laborious process.
I know, which is somewhat defeats the entire purpose of using the software, right? So, but you know, and I actually plan to use it a lot more now, because I actually just ordered a whole bunch of new video equipment on Amazon, so to have my dedicated video room in the office next door. So yeah, I'm starting to finally use all my Amazon credits.
Great.
Jay, can you tell us how much does that software cost, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
I think it was $99 US.
Okay. Is that a one-time license or a yearly fee?
Yes. It's
One
a one-time
time.
license. Yep.
Great.
Yeah, and they have upgrades. Bit larger upgrades is a paid upgrade when they kind of stitch on new features and whatnot. But you know, it's like $30 or something. It's something forgettable, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, totally worth it. You know, absolutely. In terms of doing video content, you know, to edit your actual videos, I think it's fantastic. And it's because it saves time, right? I just want to get a logo. I want to do the maybe add new audio to it, transitions, and it's so simple. It's great. You know, I don't need a lot of bells and whistles personally for video production. So that's why I don't use, you know, whatever Mac software that they produce, Premiere Pro or whatever it's called, or sorry, Final Cut Pro. You know, like that's just like I'm not making a Roman Polanski film here, right? So it's just it's simple videos.
Right. So I just wanted to acknowledge Andrew. I did put it up on the screen. He's put the link to where to find the screen flow for Windows. So right on. So yeah, lots of learning curves ahead. So I'm looking at the time and thinking that we are sort of over our allotted time. And I want to thank everyone for your contributions, because I certainly know absolutely nothing about editing. So I really appreciate you jumping in and sharing what you know. So I think with that, unless there's a parting shot that anybody would like to sort of share, I think we will close now. So Roland, are you ready?
Can I just quickly say one thing?
Yes.
And that is to everyone out there, not to be intimidated by software and not to be intimidated by, you know, getting out and doing these things, regardless whether we're talking about YouTube or editing videos or anything like that. You know, I actually read this great quote last week, and it says, there is a 5-second window in which you can move from idea to action before your brain kicks into gear and sabotages any changes of behavior. And I absolutely love that quote, and I think some people's 5-second window might be even smaller, you know.
Right.
But you know, I really enjoy that. I think that's a really great way to kind of end this, and to say, you know what, jump in, both feet in, take action, invest in yourself, and invest in software to do this, and you know, who knows what will happen. You know, worst case will, you know, you'll fail, but that just means you get to do it again and then succeed on the next round. Well, similar to how this video started.
It all rolls into what I call it the experimentation mode.
Yeah.
So thank you again, and yes, I think that's a good way for us to close out. So I'm going to share my exit screen here. Thank you all for joining me this morning. And basically, I'm just sharing on the screen here what where you can find being your own CEO, and to also encourage viewers out there to connect with some of the people in the green room here. They all have a huge set of skills that they are willing to share with people. So please do connect with them as well. So thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week.